Awesome. So hello, everyone. So nice to see all of you today. I'm really excited about this regional event. So my name is DailishaEveRodriguez. I am the Executive Director of Hey There Beautiful Foundation. I'm also an organizational development coach for Hey There Beautiful Incorporated. I am the co-host of Ubicate. It is a live show on Facebook at 1 o'clock every Wednesday, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm also the podcast host of Crown Confidential, and I'm a TEDx Talk presenter. So I wanted to just share a little bit about Hey There Beautiful. So we are our mission is we create safe spaces for girls to unapologetically dream, heal, and lead empowered lives through education, social emotional learning, and personal development. And our vision is for every girl to live her life feeling empowered love while joyously pursuing their personal dreams and professional goals. And this is just some of my work experiences, some of my current clients. I work with locally, the United Federation of Teachers, the New York City Department of Education, the New York City Department of Youth and Development, Grand Street Settlement, that is a big organization here in New York. Nationally, I've worked with the University of Connecticut, Theta Delta Sigma Society Incorporated. I've worked with Walmart. I've worked with TEDx. I've done some keynotes for the American Cancer Society as well as Avon, and I've also worked with Black Women's Blueprint. Some of my press features, I've been featured on locally, News 12 Brooklyn, Fox, ABC, NBC, the CW, nationally, Reuters, TEDx, the Daily Herald in Chicago, the Journalist Report, and the Thailand Tribune. So I want to know today, I'm going to, let me stop my show. I want to say, what do you want to get out of this session? So this is your opportunity to really figure out what is it that you want to get out of this session. And I invite you to type it in the chat. So this is your moment. I want to know, what do you want to get out of this session today? So I want to be really interactive today. What are some of the things that you were looking for to get out of this session? And what are some of the things that you are hoping to discover as a result of working with me today? Because it's great for our keynotes to speak. It's also great to hear from you, right? So I want to know what is it that you're looking to get out of this evening? Maybe it's networking, maybe it's some sort of aha moment. And you can post this in the chat. I'm going to give you a moment. What are you looking to get out of this evening? This evening is not about me. This evening is about you. And so it's important that you understand that you have a place here, right? It's great that I would talk and talk and talk, but at some point I want to hear from you. So type in the chat. So Nicole said networking, Reese relating and communicating with others. Absolutely. I think that that's pivotal to any success. How to become a better businesswoman. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Cynthia. Networking. Steely, I hope I pronounced that right, Kim. She said, truly embrace who I am. I love it with the exclamation point. Vicky said leadership development tips. Absolutely, I'm here for that also. I need leadership development tips myself. Connections, leadership skills, perhaps. Thank you, Ebony. Imani, introducing people to my company and making new business friends. Thank you, Imani. Reese, leading people better. How to approach, Patty. I think that that's important also. Yvonne, how to engage based on my gifts and respecting others. That's a whole word right there, Yvonne. Karina said, I want to learn how to be a better leader who can use and leverage my ethnicity versus suppressing it in the workplace. Thank you so much for sharing that, Karina. And I have Jane here that said networking. So most of us are on the same page. We're here to network, we're here to leverage, we're here to see how, to become leaders. Reset less salesy, salesy communications. I got that one, right? Leading using emotional intelligence. So I just want to share with you, right? A few things. I'm going to share my screen really quickly, right? I want to just share with you, and this is the definition, right? What is self-awareness? It's conscious knowledge, right, of one's character, our thoughts, our feelings, our motives, our desires. It's the ability to take an honest look at your life with no attachment to it being right or wrong. How many of us have actually dug and done some self-awareness work? If you have, type dig in the chat, DIG. If you've done, self-awareness work and you've been able to dig around that, type that in the chat. Dig, thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Megan. Major dig. Thank you, Cynthia. Absolutely. Thank you for that, right? So self-awareness is not just really knowing yourself, right? It's also those folks that are around you, right? Really being attached to everything and nothing at the same time, not being attached to a result, right? And I love the part here with no attachment to it being right or wrong, right? And so we're going to flip to what's leadership, right? And so these are some of the things I found: the state or position of being a leader, right? Influencing a group of people, the ability to inspire a group, the action of leading a group, and my favorite one, a process which maximizes effort of a group. And so what I've known about leadership, is this the next one? Yeah, no, it's not. What I know about leadership is that it looks different everywhere. All of us come from different fields, all of us come different backgrounds. So my invitation tonight is take what you need. I'm going to say it again, take what you need. It's important to take what you need because not everything is going to apply to you. Some of us are working in corporate entities. Some of us are our own bosses. Some of us are just starting up. So here, just take the things that you need. And also you can type your questions in the chat. And so one of the things I wanted to really start off with as it relates to self-awareness is you. So we're actually going to be doing an activity tonight. I love activities because we get to dig around, not just who we are, but we also get to face the music, right? I was speaking to one of my interns, right, recently. She was always late. She wanted to, she came to work when she wanted to. And so I told her, she's about what, 16, 17. I said, one day, someone is going to check you. Someone is going to give you feedback, whether it be solicited, unsolicited, right? So one day someone's going to give you feedback. And what they're going to do is they're going to give you feedback based upon where they are in their life and based upon when you are in your life, right? Many of us have received feedback. Have we done anything with it, right? And so really important that self-awareness piece is key to leadership, because I had to take a seat and figure out, why is she showing up late? Who am I being that's allowing her to show up late in my life? Because folks are going to treat you the way that you allow them. Anybody else in a relationship, we've been in bad relationships, right? We've been in relationships, like, wait a second, this isn't working for me. I want this, but I'm getting this, right? And then realizing that the relationship is not working because we weren't communicating who we are, right? Not just lack of self-awareness, just communicating, right? So I realized that I was not communicating with folks the way that I wanted to. And I had to communicate with her and serve as the interruption. And also as a leader, put the onus on her, right? One of the things I do for my leaders out there, this is what I do. If you're ready for it, I'm ready for it. I let folks rate themselves in how they show up in a business. I'm going to give you feedback. However, rate yourself so you can be honest with yourself and see where you are. And then part of my self-assessment with folks, right, that leadership role is being honest and communicating what my wants are and what my needs are. And in addition, listening to folks and meeting them where they are, right? And so I have a great activity for us. I am very old school. Well, I'm not very old school. You can get a piece of paper out. And my recommendation is to do this vertically. And you're going to make I'm old school. Nobody's going to judge me, right? This is a judgment-free zone. We're going to make 4 columns. I don't know if you can see them. This ring light, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Just make 4 columns on a piece of paper and make sure you have room to write. Make sure you have room to write. And so I'm going to type in the chat what the 4 columns represent. So the first column, and my request is in this moment, don't type your answers in the chat. This is for you, and then we'll go in. So the first thing I want us to focus on is so the first column, people that you love, your friends, your coworkers, right? You're gonna write their names down, write their names, write their title. So maybe it's John, boss. Maybe it's Sam and she is a coworker, right? So I want you to write the names down of the people that you love, people that you admire, and people that you have a constant relationship with. Maybe it's, and here, right, dig around those tumultuous relationships. Dig around those relationships that are a little strenuous where, you gotta maybe work a little bit harder or communicate a little bit different. So that's the first column. And I'm gonna give us time to get this all together. Right? The second column, I want you to write down the emotions you feel when you interact with them. Here, there's no judgment. Story time. So what I share, when I say story time, I typically am going to share a great story. My kids are like, story time, right? So story time. I do not have the greatest relationship with my mom, right? My mom, she lives like 15 minutes away. I haven't seen her in 3 years. We'll get to that at the closure of this because this is a great story. And some of the emotions that I feel when I see her are anger, resentment, hurt, pain. And I get to be honest with yourself about this moment, right? Really be honest with yourself, right? The next thing I want are, I want you to write down important things I have been procrastinating. So important things you've been procrastinating. Maybe it's opening up your link tree. Maybe it's connecting with a friend. Maybe it's an email. Maybe it's following up. But 3 really important things, maybe business or professional, I'm not here to judge, but 3 things that you have been procrastinating. And the 4th are the reasons why. Number 4 are the reasons why. Why have you been procrastinating? So I'm going to give you a few moments. It's 9:15 now. When you're done, type done in the chat. Doesn't have to be a long list. Make it a real list. Make it a list that's important to you. The deeper that you go, the more you will get out of this activity. So I'm going to give you a few moments. When you are done, just type done in the chat and I'm going to start up. Just want to give you this moment. Okay, great. I have a lot of folks who are done, so we're going to get started. So everybody's ready to go deeper, right? This isn't, so the piece around self-awareness is not just identifying that exists, it's really knowing yourself. Knowing that you're making the right decisions, knowing that you're making the right moves. You're here for a reason. You're here to get something out of this call. You're here to connect with other folks, and you're also here to dig deep, right? Trauma doesn't stop and healing doesn't stop. right? And so as leaders, every day, it's another fire to put out. It's another call to answer, right? And so in this moment, I want us to have grace with ourselves, right? And I want you to be, this is a time where you get to be aware of how you're feeling, right? Because this is the piece. Part of this activity may bring things up, right? Those triggers and the way that you feel are your responsibility. And so my goal here today is to lead you to a place of love and understanding yourself in a way so that it can empower you to be the better leader. Because I've made so many mistakes, and my mistakes have defined me. It hasn't been in the success, it's been in the failures that have defined my company, right? And so the first activity, the people that you love, I want you to cross out the people that you love or those colleagues, and I want you to put me. The folks in front of you that are in front of you, all of those names, that is you. That is a reflection of you. It's a part of you. Whether you have disdain, whether you have love and admiration, the folks in the first column are you. When you are self-aware, you realize that the folks that you interact with you based upon, one, your level of energy, and two, right? Knowing that, because people don't come into our life. I hear it all the time, it's a coincidence. It's not a coincidence, it's synchronicity. And when you're self-aware, you know that there are folks in your life for a reason and there are folks in your life for a season. And as that relates to leadership, some folks are there just to teach you a lesson, right? How many of us have, just by a show of hands, you can put reaction, you can type me in the chat. How many of us have hired someone or someone came into the company and then you made a mistake and said, wow, this isn't the right fit. I should have gone another way. Right? Or we've made a decision and taken on a contract, right? Vicky has her hand up. Thank you, Vicky, right? Linda, thank you. Sharon, thank you. And I see you, right? And we've made that mistake of not honoring who we are. And that's part of the self-awareness, because listen to me, I'm about to adjust my chair. So when I adjust my chair, Megan knows I'm going to bring out the heat. So when I adjust my chair and I start adjusting this top piece, that means that I'm going to go off on a tangent. This is the thing. I can teach you all the things I can teach you today. Will you implement it? No. You're going to take what you need based upon the lessons that you have. So I'm not here to change you. I'm here to shift your ideals to know that you have all the tools that you need. Make sense? And so the first column, that's you. All the people in your life, good, bad, ugly, that is you, right? And I will take questions at the end. The next column, get a little bit deeper. I want you to cross out number 2. And I want you to write how I show up in the world. I want you to write down how I show up in the world. So one of the stories that I shared with you, right? I know Ernie was looking at me, shaking her head. She was like, yes. So the mom story, right? We're going to get to the mom story. The reason why I brought up my mom is because we have expectations of folks and we have folks that agree to things. So if you read The 4 Agreements, one of my favorite books, right? My mom, I wanted my mom to be a spectacular woman. I wanted her to be here now watching me cleaning up my mess in my single girl apartment that I won't show you. I wanted her to be here to help me scrub my tubs and do my laundry and raise my kids. That was my expectation. My mother didn't agree to that. She simply agreed to be a mom. Make sense? And that's where my healing came from. I have all these beautiful, beautiful, powerful women on this call who want to show me love. And at some point in my life, I couldn't receive the love because I was caught up in the trauma of who my mother was. Oftentimes in leadership, we try and mold people to who we want them to be. Okay, you can cut cucumbers well, but I'm going to make you cut tomatoes. Well, you can type well, I'm going to make you sing. Right? And so in those moments, you get to recognize that the way that other folks show up in front of you, that's a mirror to who you are. If they're angry, if they're mean, if they have a disdain, you're allowing them in your life. And I'm telling you as someone who has left corporate America, and for those folks that come from corporate and are from corporate, I worked for a major insurance carrier for 12 years. And what happened was one day, I did it live on Facebook. I got up and I left and I walked away because it wasn't for me. I didn't trust myself. I couldn't do what I wanted to do there. I couldn't be magical. Look at these hot outfits I have on. Who's going to see me? Who is going to experience me? And I knew in that moment, like I had one of those badges that would open the door when you would, wave the badge and open in. I was physically ill trying to wave the badge because I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. I was the only Latina woman who spoke, different languages. And it was really, it killed my self-esteem. It killed my confidence because I was a puppet for a long time. And so those of us who are in corporate, do we want that environment for ourselves? Is that what we truly want? Do we really want to be told what to do? Because all of you have the tools to succeed. All of you have the tools to thrive. It's a matter of taking those tools and making something happen and not being afraid. I left, I took all the money out of my savings and I took a chance on myself. And here I am. My organization just celebrated our 6-year anniversary. Did I think 6 years will come? No, I didn't think I was going to be on time to stuff the first 3 months, right? And so it's really important to not just know yourself and know what you can take on, know you have the capabilities to lead. And when folks are showing up the way that they're showing up, they are a mirror to you. That's that self-awareness piece. My mom is showing up as hateful, angry, and my words around my mom were what? Anger, hate, resentment. I don't trust her. However, it's really me. I don't trust myself to make a decision. I resent her because of my trauma. I'm sad because it makes me sad. When I can say, you know what? I had so many great memories with this wonderful woman. Thank you. I get to be grateful. And I'm not sitting here telling you I wasn't crying every single night over a few bottles of wine. Yes, a few bottles of wine. We know how that goes, ladies, right? You start with one. Oh my God, I can't believe it's empty. What did I do? Oh no, let me open up another one. Oh, right? It just happens. And then the waterworks happens. And what are we doing? We're watching like Grey's Anatomy, eating ice cream. It's a whole, right? I did that. I went through those phases where I would cry so much I couldn't even see out of my eyes. I had to grieve my mom. I had to go through a mourning period. The woman is still alive, healthy. I want to see her Mother's Day. I can wish on that. However, I had the time of my life while I was with her. It's appreciating folks for face value, right? And so understanding that it's not to shift or change you, but what uncomfortable conversations do you get to have with folks to shift the emotions around how you show up in the world? That's the self-awareness piece. What am I willing to do to get what I don't have? Right? Thank you, Rosemary. Who am I willing to be to get what I want? It took so much. You saw all my accolades and everything. My TEDx talk, I forgot all the lines when I went up on stage. My foundation, the first 2 years, we didn't make money. My coaching business didn't start making money till last year. And I'm being authentic with you because real people recognize real people. And real people recognize that I'm going to give you the things that are authentic. Otherwise, not only are you not going to believe me, but you won't trust me. So I'm telling you all the struggles. I'm letting you know that this is where I struggle. Thank you, Cynthia, for the heart. Thank you for that, right? I'm telling you my struggles because I want to lead you to the promised land. You have to want to go there. You ever see when they're pushing donkeys or horses, right? They're pushing them to water. The horse don't want to eat. The horse don't want to drink. Leave it alone. So how many folks in our life, we want to be better leaders and more self-aware. How many of us are pushing and pulling people somewhere where they don't want to be, but there are other folks that are on the wait list? I'll wait. Oh, that was a good one. You're recording this, right? I got to put this in my book, Megan. Listen, we're here to have fun, right? I'm not here to be serious. It's 9:30 over here in Brooklyn, right? I'm here to laugh with you, joke with you, and let you know I'm as real as they get. That's why they called me here to the front. Why? Because each and every one of you deserves to know I'm a leader. I tell my clients before we start, I'm not here to change you. I'm here to shift you into your leadership. Why am I going to change you? You're perfect the way you are, right? And in addition, we're not all baked cakes. We still have stuff happening. I got mommy issues. That's a nice little Band-Aid. But have I got the stitches and the therapy that I need to be better? Right? And so that is the piece there. Like, this is all about me being authentic. Why? Because I'm self-aware about my surroundings. I trust my surroundings. And I trust that I'm going to make the best decisions that are going to support what's next. You're doing the very best you can with what you have, right? Now, those are the first 2 columns and they both relate to each other. I'll let you sit there. The next columns, right? I told you, you're going to get vision here. This is the leadership piece for you, right? So I think I said number 3, I want you to cross that out. I want you to cross the things you've been procrastinating, and I want you to put 90-day action plan. If you've been procrastinating them and they're important, I said things that are important, that's your 90-day action plan. Either do it or get off the bus. It's not going to serve you to want to stick in something that doesn't work for you. If you have a closet that you said you're going to clean it out. If you're not, the thing is, if we're not able to manage the small, how are you going to want to be a millionaire or a six-figure income person? I'll wait. Many of us say that, I want to make $1 million. Are you ready for that? If I gave it to you tomorrow, are you responsible enough to take that on as a risk? I'm not. I'll take the 6 figures. I could buy some new bras. I can do some stuff. I could buy some nice girdles that'll help me work out, more water, right? But what I won't do, I'm not ready for the million. And I'm honest about that. Why? Because I'm not prepared for that. I'm not prepared for what's to come, right? You see many people, they hit the lotto. 2 months later, 4 Maseratis or 4 Lamborghinis later, they're broke. Are you ready for what's next? This is your 90-day action plan. This is what being a leader is about. Taking it in and saying, you know what? I am going to be responsible. I'm not going to be a victim, right? And that's true leadership. True leadership is not, oh, Greg said this and Linda said that and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so how does that make you feel? Because what I'm not going to do is tell you who Karen is or who Leon is. Or I'm not going to talk about people. I want to see how it makes you feel, because the way it makes you feel is how you show up in the world. It has nothing to do with me. True leadership is putting the onus on others and propelling their leadership skills. Ooh, that's good. True leadership is allowing people to be leaders, right? And I'm talking with my hands. This is my Brooklyn thing. I'm not Italian. I'm Puerto Rican. You know, this is just a Brooklyn thing, right? A lot of my, you know, I see, you know, we're in a different time zone. Everyone's like, I got it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm speaking like there's a concert here, right? So, so it's really knowing who you are. So take this 90-day action plan, be proud of it, and move on. You can add stuff here. You can take things away, but there are important things that you said that you've been procrastinating. Right? And procrastinating is really saying, I have another day left. We don't know what's left. We don't know what's next. And that's not to guilt or shame you. It's to say, you know what? I have a story time. I have a to-do list that my interns made. Must be 92 things on it. And I'm like, 92 things? I want to take a nap. I don't know about you, but this list ain't for me. So then I looked at it and I said, what can I assign? Like, what can I give out? There are other folks in my life that love me enough that are able to manage going to Dollar Tree. They're able to manage going to the bank for me. They're able to manage going to get an oil change. So why haven't I enrolled them in the support? I'm sitting here crying about but there are folks out there that want to be enrolled. And if not, I know how I can get the support. So what's keeping me from that? Right? So you get to take this list and assign it. Maybe it's cleaning out the closet. All right, kids. Let's open up the book and let's open up the closet, take everything out. Mommy will figure out, you know, what this looks like. Now you got your kids enrolled. They're excited about taking stuff out the closet. You're really not. At the same time, it's a group activity, right? I was reading a book. It's called Unapologetically Ambitious by Shelly A. I'm not going to butcher her last name. She has a beautiful African name. She was one of the first women in tech. I follow her. And one of the things she said is there's no such thing as work-life balance. There's integration. So if you have, right? So I want to see my best friend, but I also have these cookies to make for the PTA meeting. Why don't me and my best friend make cookies for the PTA meeting? I have a right there, integration. I want to work out and I also want to spend time with my kids. Let me work out while I'm with my kids, integration. I want to go out for a girls' night and I also want to see my kids. Let's see if we can have a play date together, integration. You know what? I don't want to see my kids. I want to spend time with my husband. Let me find a place where the kids can go and be nourished so I can spend time. Integration. Grandma has the kids or whoever has the kids and you have the time with the person that you love. Makes sense? So you get to integrate those things in your goals. It's not impossible. I'm telling you, as someone who's, I think I'm down 110 pounds now, right? And I'm telling you as someone who has really, I've come full circle. I'm still not there yet. I've come full circle and I've seen what we do to ourselves as women. We guilt ourselves, we shame. I didn't do enough today. You did enough by just waking up. Let me give you that. You did enough by just waking up today. Just waking up and getting out of bed and getting yourself out of any state that you're in. Some of us wake up depressed. Some of us wake up, it's that time of the month. Some of us wake up and look at our phone and we're like, why is my ex calling me again? Even though I like it, right? Some of us wake up and we look at our phone and then it's a whole to-do list of things that we have, that other people are telling us to do. Make sense? So in this moment, you get to be with yourself and be with your life, unapologetically ambitious. I'll put it in the chat at the end. Now, the last column, number 4, right? What are some of the reasons, right? This is the leadership piece, right? I want you to cross out the reasons. You're welcome, Vicki. Thank you for asking questions. Last piece, these are the excuses. These are your excuses. These are not the reasons, these are the excuses. You want to be a leader? How many people are waiting for you to show up to be a leader? This is where you get to shift from being a victim to being responsible. This is a self-awareness piece where you're so self-aware that you know that you're not going to tolerate the excuses anymore. That you get to be, thank you, Megan, that you get to be bigger, that you get to be better, right? And so in this moment, I want you to look at this list and really take it for what it is and know that you're doing the best you can with what you have. And so I know I have a little bit of time here. I'm going to wrap real quick, Megan. I'm going to just share my screen really quickly, right? So I have some tips for us. Can we see the screen? I see Karina at the top. Can we shake our head? Karina, Rachel, can we see the screen? Thank you. If you can see it, great. Thank you. So one of the first tips that I have, right? Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. No one is going anywhere. Take a deep breath. Sometimes we're rushing. We're going to a communion, a sweet 16. We're going to a doctor's appointment. Take a deep breath. My friend just bought a house. She called me and I said, hi, how are you? And for 42 minutes and like 42 seconds, it was, and then I'm gonna get the house, and then I have to do this, and then the inspector is gonna come, and after he comes, I have to get the washer and the dryer. I said, best friend, take a deep breath, my beautiful cancer friend. Your house is not going anywhere. The inspectors are not going anywhere. You show up 5 minutes late to a signing, they're not gonna deny you to sign for your house. Your fridge and your dryer, not going anywhere. Sometimes it just requires us to take a deep breath, right? And connect. The next piece, trust your gut. Trust your gut. So many times I see that. Oh, well, I'm not sure. And what do? We go to a friend. I need some advice. So he called me and he wants to go on another date, but I'm not too sure about him. First of all, go on the second date so you get some dinner or coffee. First of all. Second of all, I'm hilarious, yeah. First of all, right? Second of all, why do we make such a big deal out of nothing? There are people that want to court us and be around us. We know what we know. If you know it's going to waste your time and it's a time waster, trust your gut. If you know you're not supposed to go in that direction, trust your gut. So I'm going to give you this great story about trusting your gut. So I went to St. John's, and one of my professors, he was a former police officer for 30 years, and then he became a therapist and a counselor. And he had a couple, a man and a woman, and she said he was cheating on her, and he said no. They were in couple therapy for weeks, and she kept saying, I know he's cheating, I know he's cheating, I know he's cheating. I've been with him for this long. And you know, my therapist then spoke to the husband and said, maybe she needs some medication because now she's hallucinating. There's no proof you're cheating. And she kept on, I know he said, well, how do you know? She said, I know. It's my gut. I'm a woman, I know. So they're going back and forth. And now towards the end of their sessions, he's thinking about, okay, she's in a different mental state. There's something wrong with this woman. And he goes, okay, I'm going to separate them and not do couples therapy. So he separate the woman. The woman's going on a rant. I know my husband, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. I know what he does, but there's no change in like gas mileage or money or anything. Then he goes, all right, so let me talk to your husband. Puts the husband in the room. And he goes, okay, your wife is saying all this, blah, blah, blah. He goes, no, I'm cheating on her. And because we have a confidentiality agreement, you can't say anything. And he was like, you're cheating? And he goes, yeah, I'm cheating on her with my coworker. And what ended up happening was one of the things that my professor said is that women's intuition does not lie. In 30 years of working as a police officer in New York, and of another 15 being a counselor. He's always said, there is no science to a woman and her gut. Trust your gut, ladies. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, right? Next thing, release control of the outcomes. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. Let go. We're so busy trying to control everything. That's what we want. We want full control. The control doesn't serve you as a leader or as someone being self-aware, because someone being self-aware doesn't care about right or wrong or outcomes. They only care about how they are, one, perceived, like how people view them in the world. And in addition, folks who are super self-aware are not attached to anything. You are attached to everything and nothing. Whether a client moves forward in my business, that's not my responsibility. That's theirs. What you do is about you, and what folks do is about them. Has nothing to do with you, right? Next piece, accept where you are, because that's exactly where you're meant to, wherever you are right now, whether you have a business, whether you have 57 plaques on your wall, whether you're at work still, accept where you are. That's where you're meant to be. You haven't learned the lessons to move from one place to another. There's still some stuff you get to learn to move. Make sense? And one of the last thing is, you have the tools already. I was going to be a lawyer. I was going to school to be an attorney. That was my thing, right? And it ended up going in a different direction. I didn't know I had the tools to be a powerful speaker until I spoke in front of people. How are you going to drive the car sitting in the passenger seat if you don't just jump in the car and figure it out? Somebody has insurance, we'll be okay. Make sure that there's a parking lot, no cars, right? So in this moment, recognize that you already have the tools that you need, right? So I'm gonna go into my next piece, right? I want to just show you some of my clients. This is one of my clients, Bianca. She has a BS in criminology, a MA in counseling. She's awesome. Some of the results I created with her, she created a whole U conference with over 150 attendings her first year, right? And what this client said about me is, don't miss the opportunity to be held accountable and loved. She calls me Coach D, AKA Coach Results. And she says, I'm a pleasure to stand. I'm a pleasure and a stand for growth and women empowerment. This is just one of my clients. And this is another of my clients, Black Women's Blueprint. You can Google them. They're a nonprofit organization supporting those recovering from states of grief and institutional violence. A result that we had during COVID, they purchased 300 acres of property for their new project, Restore Forward, during COVID. Right? These are the results that you want as a leader. These are the results that I created during COVID. Don't let anyone tell you what you can and you can't do. Once you put it out there, it's done. You have to believe it's already done. For me, I already believe I am healthy, I am prosperous, and I am in the best shape of my life, right? Because I believe that. Now that I sold that to you, you believe it. Make sense, right? And so these are some of the results from my clients. This is some of my information. I know that we have to wrap because we're going to go into breakout sessions. I'm going to put my email address and my tree link information there. info@heytherebeautiful.org. My cell phone number is there. I welcome text message, and that's our mailing address, right? So I'm actually gonna come off and not share. I'm gonna give you a few seconds to write down any information, and I'm gonna stop the share.
Dailisha, I'll email that information out as well, so we don't get the recap with that information.
Thank you.
So
thank you. So in closing, trust yourself, folks. Like I can give you all the advice in the world. It's completely up to you how you see fit and where you want to plug things in. And know that you have the tools already. You have the tools, right? And being self-aware is the first piece. Who am I? How do I feel about myself? Who am I? So that I can project that. If I'm a mean-spirited person, I'm going to project that. And then those folks around me are going to project that back to me. Does that make sense? And so I want to thank you all for your time. Thank you, Megan. I am so excited. I'm going to stay on. I'm going to be here until, the last person leaves or I'm kicked out. I'm going to put my information in Linktree. And one of the things I did say is that I do have a special gift for everyone that is here today. I am offering a free consultation to everyone on this call. You must book it within the next 24 hours. I'm going to send you my Linktree. When you type on it, you're going to see it says IAW Regional Gift. It's going to say IAW Regional Gift, and you will have a half an hour with me, right? If you want to take your business to the next level, if you're really ready to step and recognize into who you are, you're really looking for authenticity, accountability, and love, I am that person. I am that coach. I'm here to support you, right? If you're not ready, don't get on the call with me. if you're not ready, right? Because I am here to support and I want to see, don't you love seeing women win? I love seeing women win. I love, round of applause to all of you here tonight. I love seeing women win. You want that energy, and people invest in me because of my energy, because of what I'm able to give. You can't buy this. That's why I left corporate. I left corporate because I knew I had a gift. You all have a gift. Take that gift, wrap it up, and shoot for the stars. And don't let anyone tell you what you can or you can't do. Folks are going to suppress you with their ideals, but when you're self-aware, you know you have all the tools and you have all the keys, and it's no stress off your back. And this is me telling you as someone who has gone from point A to point B, tragedy to triumph. My grandmother passed. I started the organization. Right afterwards, they diagnosed my dad with stage 4 cancer, and I became his healthcare provider. The hardest thing I had to do was bury my father. And what I tell people is, if you had 1 year left to live, what would you do? My dad had 14 months on this earth. He wanted to dance, he wanted to sing, he wanted to do really beautiful, amazing things with his daughter. If I have a child now, my father wouldn't see him. And my mother won't, but that's another story. We'll talk about that another time, ladies, right? But what I'm saying is, if you had a year left to live, how would you live it? And for me, I don't live like I have a year left to live. I live like I have a day. And I gave everything that I had in this moment to each and every one of you. So how are you going to choose to live? Ooh, that was good. All right, ladies, I'm going to give it back to Megan. I love you all. I hope you enjoyed it. You like my nice fits for you. I'm going to stay on the call for as long as needed. Don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be intimidated. I'm here to see you win. I want you to understand that there's no coach like me. I'm running the marathon with you. I'm sweating with you. I get to the end, then I give you feedback about form. Some of my clients are even in the building. Some of my clients just came in because they wanted some juice, and they can tell you. I have a client here who won a really big award, but I don't know if she's able to discuss it. I think that she's off camera, but I create results. But what I also create is a space of love and healing. Makes sense? Because we all get to have that. So thank you so much. I had a really great time, and I'll be on this call until till I get kicked off.
Thank you, Dailisha.